Howdy, welcome to ENGL 1020 IF1. This is going to be a summer internet course for Comp 2. My name is Eric Fish. I'll be teaching the class and just kind of want to give a quick overview of the course, go through the syllabus real quickly, just kind of show you where things are at. I generally try to keep up with the announcements page, let you know when things are coming due. Nobody likes surprises there. Most of the things are going to be on the content page. You're going to see the addendum and class schedule there. That'll show you all the course policies and of course the class schedule and when we're going to be doing things. You're going to start seeing assignments filling out here. Going to be doing quite a few responses in this class. You can see the first one's a syllabus quiz. Hopefully you can just click on that, open it up, do the syllabus quiz, and put it in the Dropbox. You're going to see links to readings and viewings and links to help resources as well. And this will kind of continue to build as we go through the class. When I talk about a Dropbox, that's now in the assignments page here. You'll click on the particular folder and follow the directions to upload your stuff. Probably do a quick video of that as we get closer to the course start date. Doing this video on May 13th. Kind of have the time right now and kind of relaxed and able to do it, so thought I'd go ahead and get it done. The class calendar's there. I don't know how often you use that, but I've kind of filled the basic stuff there, what's coming due, when it's coming due. What else? The class list is here. If you need to email me, you can go to the class list, just click on my name, and the email function will pop up. Also, this is how I email the class. I just click on this, check marks everybody, and I can email everybody in the class there. So that works well too. Just be careful when you do an email that you don't do this, or else you're going to send your message to the entire class instead of just me. Probably not going to do discussion boards in this class. We'll see as we go along. Might do one or two, but I generally find the D2L discussion board kind of clunky and hard to read and function with. And we got 25 people in this class, so that's quite a few people on a discussion board. It tends to get a little repetitive. We'll see. We're going to try and function mainly through response papers and those kinds of assignments. The grades, yours looks different from mine. Yours is going to have a nice listing of all the grades for the course. This is what I see when I go to enter grades. And you can kind of see it gets kind of gets to be a lot of little boxes there. So if there's ever an error in your grades, don't be shy about saying anything. The odds are I'm going to make a mistake or two. Especially like we have two people with the last name of Williams and two with the last name of Wilson. Once names start sounding the same, and I don't get to see your face as much, so it's hard to delineate sometimes. Excuse me. But again, you can see all the little boxes that are going to start getting filled in, and if there's a mistake, just let me know. But this is the official gradebook for the course, so if there is a mistake, you really want to let me know. Don't be shy about it. That's one of the keys to a good online course is good communication. If you have a question, be sure to ask it. Don't sit there thinking, oh, this might be a stupid question. It's like, well, it doesn't matter. If you need clarification to function better in the course, I want you to ask the question. I want to go over the syllabus a little bit. I don't want to read it to you. You can read faster than I can talk, probably. But it's right here under the course documents on the content page. And you're going to be doing a syllabus quiz on this, so that's another reason I don't want to read the entire thing to you. A couple of things though. Again, we want to try and stay in D2L as much as possible, particularly with email. If you start emailing my Northeast State email address, I might miss it because I don't know who Bill59 is, at gmail.com. Excuse me. And D2L is a nice closed system for all of us to be in the same place. If the Northeast State website's down, you can still get to D2L usually. If you go to this website, it's on its own server and everything. So sometimes the Northeast State site can be a little clunky, but D2L is working. Hopefully it won't happen the other way around. If you do need to meet with me, this is an asynchronous online course. I generally won't see most of you, but if you do want to meet, if you're feeling a little lost in the course, I do have an office on the main campus. I'm happy to set up a time to come meet with you. And also, I'll be doing a couple office hours. But again, internet students generally aren't interested in coming to the class. In fact, probably a lot of you are in different places, right? I know a couple of you are in different states already. So But if you want to meet, just let me know. Hold on. Comp 2 is a continuation of Comp 1, kind of, except we're going to be writing based on literature and things you've read and analyzed. So if you think, man, there's a lot of writing in this class, well, it's a composition class, right? But of course, there's a little more reading because you got to read the literature to be able to write about it. By the end of the class, you should be able to read critically and use evidence to back up opinions. If you think something's stupid, someone who reads is stupid, you got to start putting that into academic discourse. Sorry, you got to put it in in academic terms to tell us exactly why you think something isn't that good. You may find a couple of things we read that you may not like. That's kind of normal. You aren't required to like everything, but you should be able to evaluate critically sources, especially those on the internet. You should be able to write analytically, not just a plot summary. That's one thing I'm going to emphasize on all these times. Don't just summarize the plot. I've read the short story. I know what happens in it. Tell me what you're thinking about it. You should be able to use resource tools skillfully to put in, to make good essays, basically. The textbook. So it's Norton Introduction to Literature, 12th edition. There's the ISBN number there. The Hard Race Essentials is up to you. That's the textbook you have for Comp 1. But this is the one where all the readings are going to be. I would not, if you don't already have the Hard Race Essentials, I would not go out and buy that. Most of that information is on the internet anyway. So if I start writing comma splices on your paper and tell you go look that up, you can type in comma splice in the Google search, and there's plenty of sources that'll tell you what it is. Not a bad textbook, but I wouldn't go out and buy it just for this class if you don't already have it. Grading breakdown. On the very last page of the syllabus are all the grades we're going to be doing for the course. We're going to have 3 major essays, which are big chunks of grade, obviously. The first one's going to be on fiction, based on fiction. The second one's based on poetry. The last one's based on drama. We're going to have a short final exam. And as we get closer to the course start date, I'll start going over a lot of this stuff. The bulk of the class is going to be response papers. These are going to be different types of activities. The first one's pretty easy one. It's just a syllabus quiz. You'll download the syllabus quiz, read through the syllabus and just answer the questions and send it in. As we start getting into the fiction and the nonfiction, these might start getting a little bit longer, a little more complex. We want to practice with MLA formatting before we get to the major essays. So not all response papers are going to be exactly the same. Some might be longer than others. So if I send an email saying, hey, give yourself time on response number 2, for example, be sure you're paying attention there. Add up all the points. It should be about 1,000 for the course. There's 15 bonus points. But 90% is an A, 80% is a B, 70% is a C. Hopefully nobody's getting below that. And also, it's not a bad idea to kind of keep up with your grades on that sheet there. Just to make sure I'm recording grades correctly. You can look at it and kind of like, oh, he did response number 4 wrong or something. Just kind of, as long as everybody should be kind of covering their own rear ends a little bit, right? Just to make sure there's no mistakes or errors. As you read through the policies, if it's bolded and in a box, that's where the problems come in with an internet course. Big one, if you got to let me know if there's a problem or something's not clear to you. I'm thinking I explained this brilliantly through a YouTube video, and you're sitting home going like, "What's this guy trying to want from me here?" We have to meet at some point. Make sure you understand what I'm looking for. But if you have an issue, a concern, a problem, let me know as soon as possible. Don't disappear in the course. If you have a personal issue that's going to take you away from the course, try to let me know. You don't have to explain it, but just say, I still want to be in the course. No, don't. I'm still out here. I'm still alive. But if you don't tell me the problem, I can't help you, right? I can't see through my computer into your study or whatever room you're working in. Of course, if I could see you, I wouldn't tell you anyway. But but let me know if there's problems. Very key to any relationship, right? You got to communicate. You got to keep small problems small. Make sure you save your work. Don't send in an essay worth 20% of your grade and for whatever reason delete it or get rid of it or whatever. You got to have backup copies. If you're using somebody else's computer, make sure you're saving it on a thumb drive or whatever. But make sure you have backup copies. Don't trust Google Docs to keep your work. Have a backup somewhere, because your little brother or your kid might get on there and delete your stuff, and then what are you going to do? Also, don't throw out graded work. It's kind of hard to, because it's all going to be coming to you electronically through D2L. But don't go in there and delete all your emails or or anything like that until you get that final grade. The rest of these are hopefully fairly straightforward. Assignments are going to be due on a given Tuesday or Friday. Breaking it up a little bit. You don't have to be on the internet on Tuesdays and Fridays. You can turn your stuff in early. But kind of breaking it up to make sure we're not trying to do everything on late on a Friday night. If you start turning stuff in late, there's a penalty there. But generally, like I said, this is an asynchronous class. You're not required to be on D2L at any particular time, just as long as you meet the due dates. There's another one, boxed and bolded. That's the plagiarism policy. Comp 2 can be ground zero for plagiarism because students sometimes fall behind on their readings and they're expected to write about things they haven't read, and then they get a little panicky and they get onto Spark Notes or cheatessays.com, or there's a million sites out there. And they start cutting and pasting and plagiarizing, and they get in a lot of trouble. You can't use someone else's information or work as your own, particularly without giving them credit. That's a good way to fail the course, and you can get into a lot of trouble there, particularly if it's not your first time, if you've been caught before. The rest of it's pretty straightforward, I hope. If there's questions, you're going to let me know, right? Here's the schedule. When something says due, it's due that day. So the syllabus quiz, response number 1 is due in the D2L Dropbox on Friday, May 31st by midnight, 11:59 p.m. And then you're going to start seeing, we're going to get into the fiction and nonfiction a little bit. Kind of going to stay focused on American literature a little bit, but we'll bring in some of the Europeans. A lot of the things that happen in America kind of start in Europe or other places, and we won't be kind of aware of that. Every once in a while, you're going to get a YouTube video. I try to keep them fairly short. Sometimes the topic's kind of complex. It takes a while, but again, if it says D2L link, you're going to go to the content page, and hopefully you see the link there. Sometimes they're PDF documents. Sometimes they take you out to the internet. But when it says like response paper number 2 is due, it's due on Tuesday. So kind of notice there's some reading there. It's probably going to be a little video watching, and you're going to be doing that response paper. And again, response papers are going to differ as we do different activities. I'm just kind of calling them all responses to kind of keep so it kind of makes sense what we're doing there. So I might probably on around the 31st, you're going to get a little note saying, hey, make sure you're giving yourself time to complete response number 2 and do all the readings. There's going to be a little bit of work there. You're going to see we're going to be working with the fiction. Going to start working on the first essay towards the end of June. Again, we're breaking it up a little bit. Once you send the first couple of paragraphs, we'll make sure you're on the right track. And of course, you want me to tell you you're on the right track, right? Then we're going to send the draft in. Then we're going to send the final version in. And that final version will have a self-review with it, where you can make sure you have all the little stuff in there. Next section will be poetry. Poetry is lighter reading because it's fairly short usually, but it's usually a little more denser. Seemed like a good way to kind of work around July 4th. Generally, people are traveling or doing something. Poetry is a little easier to handle during that kind of week, as opposed to fiction or drama. But then we'll work on the poetry essay. Same thing. We're breaking things up, making sure you're kind of chunking it. Make sure you're kind of chipping away at the assignment instead of trying to do it all the night before it's due. Also, we break it up so I can make sure you're writing your own essay, right? If you've turned in a beautiful essay and I've never seen you work on it, I kind of start wondering a little bit, right? Where'd that come from? We'll finish out with drama, then the drama essay. You kind of see the final exam is only 75 points, so it's not going to be some huge cumulative final. I'll probably give you the final exam questions with the second video I do, or third video. So you can be thinking about that throughout the semester. And that's it. It's going to be quick, about 10 weeks there. So things are going to go pretty quickly. If you're thinking, is there something due this Tuesday or this Friday in that class? The answer is yes. That's one reason I've broken it up, so it's just not a once a week kind of event for you. Generally, students don't do well with that. But again, if this is asynchronous, you may be doing this from Europe or from another state. For example, on Friday the 31st, I'll be in a different state, but I've called ahead to the hotel, made sure the internet's that's not going to cost me $50 or something. It's kind of a swanky hotel I'm going to. They like to charge for the internet. But kind of make sure you're doing that. If you're going to go somewhere over July 4th, make sure you've called ahead. Make sure you know where some internet is. You might have to end up going to McDonald's or something, but for the most part, I won't know where you're at. It's kind of a neat thing about internet courses. It's kind of up to you to organize yourself and make sure you're getting what you need to function in the course. One other question students like to ask: do I really need to buy the textbook? My answer is: how would I know if you did or not? I should not know. If you can read full-length plays on a screen, and you can find sources for all these things, which you probably can. It's going to take some work. You can try that. I'm kind of old. I like to have everything in one place in a book like this. But I've had some students go without the textbook, and it's kind of up to you. But one problem is sometimes you don't know if you got the right thing when you're trying to do stuff like that. So kind of be careful. But most of these short stories are out there somewhere on the internet. Just kind of whether you want to do screen time or book time. But it's kind of all I wanted to cover. Again, an internet course is just like any other kind of relationship you get into. You got to show up and do the work. You got to communicate. Keep small things small. Whoops, sorry. Something crawling on my table. And you got to show respect and professionalism. Don't cheat. You expect that from me too, right? And of course, you got to get along. Sometimes we might be interacting with each other. You got to be professional and polite, and like I know all of you are going to be. But again, good personal relationships. If you got a partner, you got to show up and do the work for them. You got to communicate with your partner. You got to treat them with respect. You got to get along with people. Nothing new in the syllabus here, just reformatted to reflect those ideas. But if you have questions, be sure to let me know. And I'm looking forward to a good semester. Should be a fun class. But we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.